Okay, hello. Hope everyone's doing well tonight or this morning. It is very early in the morning for me, but my schedule's all upside down, so it's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to be playing Tomb Raider Anniversary, which is obviously the remake of Tomb Raider 1. We're going to be doing any percent, no bug jump, but there are some bugs, let's say. And yeah, I'm ready to go. So I'll count down in 3, 2, 1, go. Hello. So we start off obviously in Peru, and straight away we are doing what I guess looks like a book jump, but we're actually airwalking here. So we trigger that by stumbling on a rock and then drawing out our pistols at the same time, and this allows Lara to walk on air, or roll on air rather. And away we go. So actually, the funny thing about this is that normally Carlos, the Peruvian guy who came with us here, would die, but he actually kind of gets to live in any percent. Because we don't open the door the conventional way. I mean, we just leave him hanging there, but... you're going to see a lot of out of bounds in this run. And not a lot of actual platforming, unfortunately. Actually, don't normally shoot those bats, but just felt like doing it. $7 PM for you, Super Stinky. I hope everyone's doing well this evening. Friggin' bats. And we can do weird little things like this. Oh, get off me, wolf. When you roll against certain textures, Lara will just zip up to the top. We don't use that in too many spots, but it's pretty cool. This game is actually incredibly glitchy. You're going to see airwalking the most in this run. There is a category called Better Than Glitchless, where you're not allowed to airwalk, but there are many other glitches that you can do in that category. It's quite an interesting category, but it's actually really difficult compared to airwalking, because airwalking is so easy. I'm gonna try and avoid dying to those arrows. Yeah, 3:45 AM. Hello to the night crew. So obviously normally you would do a puzzle to open the door to the end of caves, but we can just go out of bounds and skip it. This is a pretty chill run, really. If you are interested in speedrunning and you haven't done many glitch speedruns, I would recommend this as a starter because it's a pretty chill run to learn. And here I'm gonna trigger a checkpoint and then quit out and resume, and it warps me to the middle of Vilcabamba, which saves, I don't know, 10 seconds maybe? 10-15 seconds. Little checkpoint warp. Going full Rambo through the arrows, yeah. Lara's a bit gung-ho. But yeah, so the premise generally in this run is when we are in airwalk, we can manipulate Lara's height by sort of rubbing up against certain textures. So now we've gained enough height to go out of bounds, like so, and then we can just admire the view, I guess. Hey Ryan, how's it going? And then we do have to pop in bounds sometimes just to load textures for the upcoming rooms. But then we can go right back into airwalk. And so coming up is Lost Valley, and if you guys remember Lost Valley from the original, it's a pretty long level. You need to collect cogs to turn off the mechanism for the waterfall and switch off the flow of water so that you can get behind the waterfall. Obviously, because we have out of bounds, we don't need to do any of that. We can just slip on right behind it, and that's Lost Valley done. And that was like, what, 15-20 seconds for that whole level? We do skip probably around like 80-90% of the game. Just because of airwalk. And this is quite difficult out of bounds. I should have got the right height though. I've been lucky. And what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to... Yikes. I'm going to have to quit and do that again. That was good, but also not good, because I had the right height, but I think I was a tiny bit too low. So I'm going to try that one more time. There's a couple ways to get around this room. Essentially what we're doing is skipping a trigger for the boulder. This time I'm too high, so I went in bounds. I'll try it this way one more time. If I can't get it, I'll go the long way. Okay, this might be good. Yeah, so we're low enough to go underneath and around. Are we high enough to jump in? Yeah, okay, cool. So we skipped the trigger for the boulder. Obviously, normally if you trigger the boulder, it closes some gates on you, and then you have to go around and do different puzzles to get behind here and grab the Scion? Scion? Because we skipped it, we don't need to do any of those puzzles.
Scion.
I don't like saying Scion.
What does it mean? That you should do.
That's true.
But yes,
I'll just say it both ways forever
Scion.
now. I'll just say ski on Scion forever. But yeah, so
on Scions.
So that's this level pretty much done. Anyway, we have the ski on Scion, and now we have a wonderful QTE to finish us off. Pronounce it like Sean. Yeah, I'll come up with my own unique way of pronouncing it. Get wrecked, Larson. I actually should be careful there. I do have a safety save in case that did mess up, but you can glitch. I don't know how it happens, but you can glitch and end up on top of Natla's sort of building and just soft lock there. I don't know how it happens, but that's happened to me once. And it would be perfect timing for it to happen during a marathon. But yeah, so now we're in Greece. We're looking for another piece of that artifact, which shall not be named. And more out of bounds. Crazy stuff going on. I should mention, actually, I'm side rolling my way throughout most of this game because it is the fastest way to get around. Forward rolling is faster in Tomb Raider Legend, and for some reason they sort of nerfed forward rolling in this game, so side rolling is faster. The ski on. Beckski93. And coming up is a rather large skip for Folly. And I need these bats alive for it, which kind of sucks. So I need to deload the area to my left by hitting a load trigger here. This can be a little tricky. Oh. There we go. And then I'm going to backflip. So this room still has collision, but no textures. And I'm going to use the bats to give me some height. this is the whole reason why I picked up a safety med at the beginning of the game. So now we need the bats for this part. We can't do this without the bats. They're going to push me out of bounds, but I need to lure them. Okay. It's a bit of a weird trick, this one, but this skips the entirety of Folly. Because normally you have to collect 4 keys and unlock the door to Colosseum, but we can just go out of bounds. It's just a little trickier than the rest of the out of bounds. I could shoot those bats now. And then I have to do a 4 damage cancel into this little tunnel here. Oh, almost did that a little bit too early, but we got it. Yeah, those bats were having a good nibble then. Yeah, that was Folly Skip. Thank you, Jappy. I appreciate that. Apologies for the squeaky door. I'm not sure if you guys heard that. So Colosseum's another pretty short level. Obviously all the platforming that you would normally do, we can just skip via air walking. And Pierre's gonna chirp us in a minute. Better pick up the pace. I forget what this level looks like normally, I have to be honest. I haven't played this game properly in a long time. Because it's so easy to skip in any percent. But that is Colosseum, pretty much done. I'm going to attempt this 4 damage cancel. I might die here. Actually, frigate. Yeah, okay, I did die. I did that completely wrong. Try that again. Yes, me and Jappy are racing Tomb Raider 1 Original tomorrow. I'm excited for that Jappy. Actually, I'm not going to go for this 4 damage cancel. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing it completely wrong. Let's just roll around the staircase. I'm sorry, Lara. It saves like seconds, like a few seconds. I guess that's what speedrunning's all about, but... anyway, we've made it to Midas's Palace. We're not going to be in here for very long though, because the whole idea of that level is to collect lead bars and turn them into gold on Midas's hand, and that opens a passageway into this underwater tunnel, which we can just reach, again, via out of bounds. We can skip all of that. Who wants to be doing puzzles and platforming in a puzzle platformer game? Not I.
That's just crazy talk.
That is crazy talk. And then we can do a really easy glitch here, or it should be easy. I've actually been having trouble with this lately, and I don't know why. So Lara should come up at the corner, and we swizzle our camera around, and she should just fall out of bounds. I don't know why I haven't been able to get that though lately, so we'll go a different way around. Instead we can do this. This is the only lever you can pull from Airwalk. I don't know why.
So I have a question about the airwalk stuff. Like, what's the difference between any percent and...
And no bug jump?
Yeah.
So bug jump is a kind of difficult trick where you... it involves jumping, grappling, and changing your weapons in a consistent sort of rhythm, and this allows Lara to bug her jump so she can go up and up and up and up and up. And you can do it infinitely. But it's kind of tricky. Only a few people have ever been able to do it and chain bug jumps enough so that it is useful in more places than airwalk would be. So not many people run the bug jump category. I wanted to learn it. I tried to learn it, but I could only ever chain 2 at a time, so it wasn't very good. So yeah, that's the only reason we have a no bug jump category, pretty much because the trick is pretty difficult to pull off consistently.
I've been watching all these runs. It's like, well, isn't this still bug jumping because you're still flying through the air?
Yeah, everybody says that. I should have just called it any percent really, because it is basically any percent. But yeah, the official category on speedrun.com is clarified as no bug jump, just because we avoid that trick like the plague.
Wow, that guy's aim is terrible.
Yeah, let's watch a little bit of this cutscene. I think we have time. So Pierre runs off with the piece of the Scion, and he bumps into these lovely creatures. I love his French accent in this. So bad.
Pick some random dude off the street. Hey, can you do a French accent? Sure.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah, so basically Pierre gets wrecked. And now we have a little boss fight. I actually need to change my control scheme here to manually. Because fortunately, so these centaurs have a petrifying gaze. As long as we don't aim at them, they sort of forget where Lara is and they can't target her, which is easier to do in manually. And we also need to make sure that we're targeting the right one to hopefully speed up this fight. So our aim is to grapple the shield off and then aim the petrifying gaze back at the centaur. Like so, and then we can kill them. This fight will go on forever if you don't do this. Okay, so that's one down. And that's 2 down. So we're able to skip a phase by going for the one that still has the shield on. Otherwise you'd have to grapple off both shields. It just takes a little longer, but it's fine. And then I'm going to switch my control scheme back because manual aim is god-awful for walking. Because Lara aims at every enemy she sees. Generally don't want that in airwalk. And now we find ourselves in Egypt. Piece of cake. Do you guys want to start talking about food again? What's your favourite cake?
Chocolate cake, obviously.
Oh, it's chocolate cake. Okay, I'm actually going to quit out and load this checkpoint again because I want to get in an airwalk and I want to try not to aggro the mutants too much. Otherwise they will keep knocking me out of airwalk. Because like in the original game, these guys can shoot fireballs at me, and generally that's not good. Don't want to be knocked out of airwalk where I can avoid it. Pizza cake. Chocolate cake with mint custard. I haven't had that since I was a kid. And it was really good actually.
Really?
It was really good. I kind of miss it. Or maybe I'm like thinking of it with rose tinted goggles, but I remember loving mint custard in school.
God.
It doesn't sound good, but yeah, so we need to get rid of these two because we're going to do a little puzzle here. I'm going to swizzle these two cylinders around. This is like one of the only puzzles we have to do. Now, if this was bug jump category, we wouldn't have to do this because you could just bug jump your way upwards. So you don't need to raise this platform at all. But alas, I can't do that in this category. Oh, I sort of risked it for a biscuit there. Oh my god, that was a bit close. I got it though. We're speedrunning, I ain't got time to stop.
Just
All
going
right,
all
so-
in on that full Rambo mode. I think.
Yeah, I'm going full Rambo. Oh dear. Yeah, so again, I was able to skip that whole room and opening the door via actual levers by getting an airwalk off an invisible platform just at the top of the door, and then Lara can just get underneath it. That was pretty sketchy. I fully went for that. Okay, this room actually makes me probably the most nervous of any part in the game, just because the recovery is difficult, because the checkpoints are kind of crappy surrounding this room. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the left-hand side of the room and I'm going to try and avoid aggroing the enemies. Please don't shoot meatballs at me. Okay, good. We're safe. We're safe. It doesn't look dangerous, but if they knock me out of airwalk though and I land on the floor, there's no good place for me to get back into airwalk. And I would have to kill all the enemies and then probably just do the glitchless route, which would take more time than I have. Now we have another QTE. Woohoo! Watch how useless these guys are. Useless. Trying to snipe me with a shotgun. And now we reach Natla's Mines. So those guys were pretty useless, but they did manage to take my weapon from me. So for a small amount of time, we can't airwalk or anything, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of platforming. I don't know why he aimed for the floor. I don't know. Those guys are pretty funny because later on in the game, there's actually another QT that we skip where the guy with the knife and the skateboard kid try and battle it out with each other to kill me, and they end up just killing each other. They're like that useless. Pretty bad. Where did Natla find them? That's what I want to know. Is one of them like her long lost cousin or something? Where did she get the skateboard kid from? Anyway, so here I'm going to do a trick. Oh, I got it first try. Basically, I used my grapple to extend my reach into the cabin so that we could get the pistols without having to do any puzzles. She found them on Craigslist. Probably. First try, hoip. Yeah, so now we're back into Outbounds and Airwalk. It's a very short segment without the pistols. I'm gonna go inbounds here to load the rest of the level and trigger a checkpoint. And I fell into the lava. Nice. Good job we got that checkpoint. Well, I did this at GDQX as well. Fabulous. Okay, there we go. So I'm going down here to grab the magnums because they're going to come in handy later on. During the Natla fight. And we're coming up to sort of the final leg of the run. And this is where it starts to get a bit tricky. So this is going to be our last safe checkpoint for a while. My estimate definitely accounts for if I do anything super dumb in this last segment of the game, which hopefully we don't do. Yeah, we just had a very warm bath, yeah. Nice relaxing soak in lava. And this is actually, if you go inbounds here, this is where you'll trigger the QTE, where they kill each other. The idiots. I don't think I explained earlier either. I think most of my viewers know about fall damage cancelling, but if you don't know, a fall damage cancel is basically how we avoid taking damage from falling from tall heights. And we do that by the simple way to do it is to switch weapons and grapple just before you hit the ground. Or there's another way that you can do it in this by reloading your weapon, unequipping it, and then grappling. Which is the way that I tend to do it in Anniversary.
Man, you're already here? Jeez.
Yeah, it's a really short...
Like 5 minutes and you're pretty much done.
This is like the most difficult part of the run though, coming up, because the checkpoints don't really work. We sort of sequence break this area. So normally you would hit a checkpoint at the bottom of the room and then all subsequent, all the following checkpoints would work. But because we skipped that particular checkpoint, none of the checkpoints that we land on these platforms are going to work for us. So this room's quite sketchy, and I need to jump out of airwalk a few times, which if I fail, I will have another hot bath in the lava, which I want to avoid.
Yeah, I hear they're not too good for your health.
Nope. So you'll see that I'm getting checkpoints, but they are wildly broken. If I die, it's either going to soft lock me, which is not very common. What'll normally happen is it'll send me back to the bottom of the room. But it's a little scary. It'll either send me back to the bottom of the room or it'll send me back to that checkpoint just before the QTE that we skipped. And the other principle of airwalking, which I didn't mention earlier, is that at all times I have to be making sure that I am holding in a direction key or Lara will fall. So that's another thing that I have to be quite conscious of. Can be a little scary. Okay, I should be high enough now for the final jump. Nice. Okay, so we made it to the top. This checkpoint is still broken. Okay, I'm actually going to play it safe in the room. You can, if you continually roll without stopping, you can do a straight shot through this room without dying, but I just don't trust it right now. Okay, hold on. There we go. I've had enough Rambo moments this run. Right, there we go. So now our checkpoints are working again.
I mean, they didn't go wrong, so why stop now?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to deload again, like we did earlier. I'm going to deload this area to my left and roll around the room. And we're coming up to Adam, the torso guy. Where is he called Adam, Geeky? Is he called Adam in the Prima guide? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Where did we get that name from?
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. I'm going to attempt to skip this boss. I'm actually going to just reload the checkpoint there, though, because he knocked me out of airwalk. Ah, no worries, Monk. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. And KTC, I see you. He keeps knocking me out of it a lot. Let's try that one more time.
How close are you to finishing?
I am approximately 5 minutes from the end.
Dang. This has been working out well for you.
Yeah, it's a pretty short run. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to deload the platform. And I'm going to head backwards. And then I'm going to try and find the wall to lower my height a little bit. And then run along the platform blind. Like so. I don't want to go underneath it or on top of it. I want to run along the edge of it. And then when I get to this side, I'm going to try and roll out of bounds. I don't know if it's going to work. It's kind of sketchy out of bounds. I think it has worked. Okay, cool. So that's how we skip Torso Boss. We have to deload the platform. You can do it without deloading the platform. But if you don't deload it, then nothing on the other side of the door will load. So you pretty much have to. I need to lower my height a little bit, actually. I've gone a bit too high. Okay, let's fall in bounds and see if I can do it this way. There we go. Okay, now we have a really long... This is going to take me ages to get the right height, but let's just enjoy the music, I guess. Go, Lara, go! Backup strats, yeah. I went a little bit too high so that this area wouldn't load in properly, or the textures wouldn't load. So I had to lower myself again. There we go. Your Prima Secrets guide just calls him the Atlantean creature. But I've seen him called Adam somewhere. Or maybe I did get that from you, Geeky. I don't remember now. But yeah, so we are coming up to the final boss. I'm going to do one last 4 damage cancel here. And again, like for the boss fight earlier, I'm going to change my control scheme to manual. Because we need to target our aim at her wings, which is even still kind of tricky in manual aim. So we want to bring her down to ground level. She's gonna keep swizzling around, trying to bamboozle us. Okay, so we got one wing. We need to get the other one. Also, I apologise if you can hear the click, 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 click of the mouse. For some reason, so in Legend, you can hold down the shoot button and she will just continually shoot. In this game, you have to click it like over and over to get her to continuously shoot. I don't know why they changed that. So now she's on the ground, we're reaching phase. And for this, we're going to lure her into an attack so we can shoot her from behind. Now I'm going to switch to magnums. Oh, actually not yet. This is not the best fight I've ever had, I have to say. Okay, there we go. You can do this in 2 phases, but I sort of messed up the first phase. So for the first phase, you're meant to do half with pistols, half with magnums. But I just did the whole thing with pistols. Okay, And then the game ends on a really long QTE. Because we love QTEs.
Yeah, that was like a phase back in.
Yeah, it was.
Nothing.
Oh god.
Very stay of execution for your kind. This island is just one remnant of Atlantis. I will find another. But you have lost.
It's actually one of the scariest parts of this run when you are doing PB attempts is this QT at the end, because if you mess it up, it's pretty much PB done. Just because it takes you back to the beginning of the QTE, and it's a pretty long one. And you can't mash inputs for QTEs in this either. You have to wait for it to show up.
No, I haven't.
I'm gonna let the last cutscene play. But that is Tomb Raider Anniversary. I hope you guys enjoyed the run.
I guess that was time.
It was time, yeah.
You got 35.5.
Nice.
That's a lot of 5s.
GG's. All the 5s. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying Tomb Raider Marathon 5. I've been enjoying watching it. What run do we have coming up next?
We've got Steve TV Online with Temple of Osiris next.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I haven't played that one yet.
I think I've played Guardian of Light, I want to say.
I own it. I own a lot of those. Like, I own Guardian of Light and I still haven't played that either.
One day.
One day I will. One day I will. But yeah, I'm excited to watch some of that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching Tomb Raider Anniversary. That is the run done. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back tomorrow with a race with Jeppy, Tomb Raider 1. So yeah, I'll see you guys then, and thank you for watching again.